Hello everyone, this is CGNovo992 and today we are back with a brand new video, and am I not thankful there is at today's video, because I'm like you, I want to dive into Rangers rumours, I want to dive in to transfer, I want to talk about new signings, but there's nothing out there, ladies and gentlemen. So instead of going another day without uploading anything, I thought, you know what, let's me and thee turn our attention to international football, because there is Euros 2020 happening in a couple of weeks. In fact, just a week's time now, probably by the time this video gets uploaded, even though it is 2021. And we've not really spoken about it, we've not really discussed it in any detail. So I thought, instead of sitting here no doing nothing today, let's try to predict the unpredictable and go through it together. So you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Announce the blue screen. That's right. Now, I have never done this before, ladies and gentlemen, so hopefully you can actually see what I'm looking at right now, and that is going to be the group stages. So we're going to go deep into this one, and what I would love is for you guys to get involved in the comment section below and let me know your rankings in the group, because again, there's not much to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. The sun is shining, so let's talk about the old football then, shall we? And starting up with Group A, which I think is going to be a group that really emerges Italy as one of the teams to watch in this tournament. And I don't know, the more I read, the more I see, and the more I hear from people talking up Italy, because I went down to London a couple of weeks ago to film a video about the Euros, and hearing them speaking about them, what I've done since then is I've went and looked at it, and by God, have they got an outfit, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe no top 5 player in the world, and that's going to lead them and carry them to glory, but what they've got is a unit there, and it's a team that's spread evenly with very, very good players. So Italy could be one of these teams that no one's talking about that goes all the freaking way in this tournament. Now, second place is interesting because naturally I would think, right, I'm going to go with Wales here, Gareth Bale, Aaron Ramsey, everything like that. But you talk about a team that's flying underneath the radar here, that's scoring goals for fun, and that is Turkey. So I'm actually going to go with the surprise here. I'm going to go with Turkey second. Apologise to any of the Welsh people watching, but Wales third and the Swiss are last. Don't know why I said it like that, but I have, and I've committed to it. Maybe if they played Cedric Itten more, I'd put them higher. Moving on to Group B, we have a group that I genuinely think is going to be fireworks, and everyone's just kind of saying Belgium first, it's going to be a cakewalk, they'll hammer every single team in that group, but genuinely I think this is going to be one of these groups that has 1 point maybe separating everyone at the end of the day. But I'm going to lean towards Belgium, and I'm going to do that because Lukaku is just on a different level right now. You talk about a player that's coming in here red hot on form, that cannot stop scoring or assisting and creating havoc. He is that player. He's been terrifying, and I know some people try and talk down the Serie A and everything like that, but that's no for me, ladies and gentlemen. I respect that league and I respect the grind, and you look at the team. KDB might be the only question because of the injury obviously picked up in the Champions League final, but even if he goes out that team, it is a loss obviously when you're losing a player of that ability, but they've got talent elsewhere, so I do think they will do just enough to go ahead and top that group. The next one is interesting because we have our boy Glenn Kamara, who I was actually planning to wear the Finnish top for this video, by the way, but it's not here yet. If you've not seen the home top for Finland, go ahead and look at it. It is absolutely gorgeous, genuine. It's as beautiful as the man himself. But I'm looking at Denmark, and I'm seeing a team here that is just doing things. They've obviously got a draw and a win versus England. Yes, a red card and all that happened, but you still got to go out there and beat it. This is a team, again, that no one is really talking about. And I think they are going to be a team that stings a lot of people. So sorry, Saucy Glenn. I'm going to pick us to finish third though, and obviously third is actually good because it does get you into the next. And I'm actually going to go surprisingly with Russia last, which probably will come back to bite me in the arse because they have got a very good team as well, and they could easily finish second in that. This one could genuinely go anyway, but I just think Denmark will do enough. They've got solid at the back. Finland will come third, and Russia will come fourth. I already feel bad about that one. I genuinely do. On to Group C then, and as you can see, I've already picked Holland to be in that first spot in the group. There's no point in me messing around here. Obviously, we saw them play against Scotland not too long ago from when this video is actually going to be made, and if we had a goalkeeper in there that had hands, they would have been beat by Scotland, but I'm not going to read too much into that. I think they will have enough. They'll turn up for the tournament and they'll top this group. The rest of it is so interesting, and it might be silly to say how good like North Macedonia is actually playing and everything like that, but I've been watching a lot of them because they played in the same group as Hagi did for Romania, and this is a team that's bet Germany and that as well, so they're not to be scoffed at and certainly not to be overlooked. They are a team that fights for each other, but I am going to lean towards Austria to come in second place here. I am then going to go North Macedonia, and surprisingly I'm going to go with Ukraine in that last spot. Moving on to Group D, and by God, is this the group that everyone's pretty much talking about so far going in to this tournament, besides Group F, which is absolutely bonkers. But Group D is interesting for many ways, and I don't know how to really put this into words, but I do think England will top the group. Sorry to everyone that I've offended with that. I'm just looking at this English team and I'm seeing a team that is littered, and I mean littered, with quality. I'm not talking about 1 or 2 players per position. I'm talking about 3. I'm talking about 4. But the only thing about England as we go deeper into the competition, everything like that, is because they've always had talented players. You look at the golden generation. They've had everyone that you could pretty much ask for to go ahead and win an international tournament. But it's about finding the system to get the best out these talented players, because a good team will beat a bad team with very good individuals, and I truly believe that. So it's about finding the right balance for England, and that's where I think they'll come unstuck as the tournament goes on. But I do think they'll top the group right here. And now we have an interesting one, because we have Scotland, we have Croatia, and we have the old Czechs, and I'm thinking Croatia's going to finish second here. I've picked him as one of my dark horses for the entire tournament, if I'm honest with you, and I can see everyone beating Czech Republic in this group, and I think that is what it's going to come down to. I think every team, I think England, Croatia and Scotland will beat the Czech Republic, and it'll just be down to their own individual matches. But I'm going to believe in Croatia. People are writing them off saying they're too old, but Perisic always has a tournament. We've got our boy Barisic, who's just had a phenomenal year himself, and I would love to see him sprinkle some of his BB magic on the old international stage. And obviously Modric, he's getting a wee bit older now, but he's still got so much quality, so I do think they will nick it enough to finish second. I'm going to put Scotland in the third spot, and I'm going to put Czech in last. And it's interesting to talk about Scotland, because honestly Scotland is more divided than the Hunger Games universe, ladies and gentlemen. There's people that like it, there are people that hate it, and honestly, my thoughts and opinions on this, if you want to go ahead and support Scotland, and if you're a Rangers fan, go ahead and support Scotland. It doesn't matter what other people say. Because I'll be honest with you, I think that toxic, poisoning, controlling behaviour that people try and do online is one of the main reasons why being online gets such a bad rep. All this, oh, you're not a real fan if you do this, or you've got to do this because that's what I want. No, that isn't how it works. And that's what I love about the community that we have here on this channel. We respect each other's opinion, and that's the way it should always be. You should never tailor your ways or your thought process to line up with someone else's. No, be your own person. If you didn't care about Scotland in this tournament, go ahead and do it. I respect your opinion. I hate the guys in charge of our game just as much as you, but if you want to go into this tournament and you're very excited to see Scotland play, go ahead and do your thing. I'm very excited to see Scotland play, especially for our boy, Mr. Nathan Patterson, who, if it gets on that park, I just think it's going to go like that and that and that. Because if he gets on that park even once, I think everyone will step back and realise what a player he is. And I don't care what other people say about this or this, he is a tremendous player. And that, all it took is one performance for Rangers, and we all sat back and realise, and I think that is what's going to be happening in the international setup for Scotland as well. And if he breaks into that team, boys, oh my days. Him on one side and Andrew Robertson on the other, who again I've said many times is up there for the best left backs in the world. And I'll just be honest, he's a tremendous player. What a absolute machine he is for Liverpool. Again, he's sometimes got that issue where it doesn't quite mesh with Scotland properly, but in terms of left backs in the world, he's right up there with our boy Barisic, in my opinion. So Andrew Robertson's tremendous. I mean, you've got the likes of John McGinn, who I don't really like personally, but in terms of footballing ability, sensational footballer. But now you've got the likes of Billy Gilmore, and then you've got Scott McTominay. You've got these types of guys that's gone into this international setup now, and they're players. So it's a very interesting time and a very exciting time. I just hope we make the right decision at the goalkeeping spot, but I know for a fact we will, and that's my only issue going into this tournament, where I think the number one goalkeeper should be John McLaughlin and, oh, you're a Rangers fan, blah, blah, blah. Shut the front door. He's the best goalkeeper out of the three of them by quite a large distance. Just look at the Netherlands game with the goals that we conceded. Look at the goals we conceded versus Israel. And I get the romance of David Marshall saving the penalties and getting there. I understand the whole hype up and the love. He was tremendous in the penalty shoot, but being tremendous at saving penalties doesn't make you a tremendous overall goalkeeper. Sub him in for getting to the all penalty shoot. Sub him in. We've seen it happen before. So it's an interesting one regarding the goalkeeping spot, and it's a shame that Ryan Jack isn't in there, because we know that man's blood is as blue as ours. He is a die-hard Rangers man, but he is so damn proud whenever he can pull on that Scotland shirt, and it's devastating that he's no going to be there. And I'm not just talking about from a friend aspect or even a fanboy aspect. I do think he's such an important pin, and that's why he's one of the first names on Clark's team sheet is Ryan Jack in that Scotland setup. So it's going to be a wee shuffling off the decks, and it will be interesting to see how Scotland play. But I think they'll now shuffle up from McTominay away from the centre-back up into the midfield, and I think they'll do that. So it's very, very interesting in terms of Scotland, but I do think that third spot space is one to be after. But again, to the people that don't care about Scotland in this tournament, that's completely fine, and that's the way the interaction should be. Who are you picking then for the old tournament top goal scorer, if you're actually still watching? Moving on to Group E. We have a group that I think I'm going to lose everyone right now, because everyone is picking Spain to top this group. Everyone is picking Spain. I don't think I've ever watched one of these videos where they haven't picked it, but I just look at the Spain side now and I didn't see the Spain side that we've seen over the last couple of years, where you've got this guy and the talent. You go, holy crap, good players, absolutely. And I could certainly follow my face by saying this. Hell, I picked St Johnstone to finish last in the league. They won 2 cups this season. I'm usually wrong all the time, but I didn't see them top in this group, and I do think they are going to massively miss Sergio Ramos. Yes, he's injured, yes, he can't play, but you get that boy in the plane, you put him in the dressing room, and you get the plums plumping before you go out there and play. And I've not done that, and I do think they will miss the Ramos factor. So I'm kind of tied here. I'm thinking either Poland, who again no one's talking about, even though they've got Lewandowski who score goals for fun, and they have the very, very strong Sweden. And I'm going to be biased, I think, with this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with Sweden topping this group. Our boy Hollander, I've got your back, son. Go ahead and do it. He better play. I'm sick to death of watching Sweden play. I went to watch him last night. Wasn't even in the 18. Yet, in these last couple of games, he's put in performance after performance. It's baffling, but they might be saving him for the tournament. But I think Sweden may surprise a lot of people. Then it gets very interesting, because everything I've just said about Spain not being overly spectacular or anything like that, I do still think they've got enough to get through. So I think they're going to finish second. I then think Poland will finish third. I like Lewandowski, but I just didn't see it throughout the rest of that squad now. And I'm going to put Slovakia in that old last spot. Now, we move to Group F. And this group's just blockbuster, isn't it? Genuinely. And I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I'm going to go with France, Portugal, Germany, Hungary. Even though Hungary is a very good team and a very good outfit that could surprise a lot of people, I'm looking at that team there. France, I mean, how do you look at that France side and not say they're the favourites for this tournament? It's disgusting how good they are. Mbappe, I know Griezmann's not scoring as many goals as he would probably like going in to this tournament for Barcelona, but he's still a sensational player and he can turn up on the international stage. But Benzema's back, been playing tremendous for France, so I do think they will top it. I do think my pick, spoiler alert for going very far in this tournament, Portugal will finish second, Germany in third. Now, what gets interesting is we now move on to the old predictions for the 4 best third place teams, and I'm going to go Germany with this one. I'm going to go with Scotland with this one. That's right, I believe in it, ladies and gentlemen, and I think possibly Finland out of this. And my last but not least, I'm going to lean towards another home nation, and I'm going to go with Wales. So that moves us into the old knockouts, and I'll try and be quicker because I'm not want to take up all your day here, and apologies if you're bored, but I just wanted to talk about football. Yeah, I enjoy the conversation, I enjoy the interactions. But that moves us on to the round 16, where Belgium will play Scotland. And everything I've said about how well Scotland are playing, everything like that, I think if we get to the round 16, that'll be a tremendous result. But we're not beating Belgium in any stretch of the imagination. Not without our boy Ryan Jack. But that's a good tournament for, especially if the likes of Nathan Patterson and that plays. That'll be vital for their development. Moving on, we have Italy versus Austria, and again I'm going to pick Italy all day with this one. This is when I'll set up that blockbuster tie in the quarterfinals. France versus Finland. Now, Glenn Kamara had a very good game versus France not too long ago, and this might not be as one-sided as a lot of people are expecting, but I'm going to unfortunately say goodbye to Saucy Glenn. Take a couple of weeks off, get fully rested, and come into next season to win 56. Please, Glenn. But I'm going to go with France with that one. I can't see by them. They're just electrifying, man. Croatia versus Spain. Now, this is where I am going to go against everybody shouting at me in the comments, because everyone will be like, well, Spain's winning that, Craig. Spain's winning that. No, Croatia, we're setting it. We're running back the World Cup final, people. Now, the next game is a game I think the entire Wales country would be absolutely praying for. An opportunity to go further in the Euros with a game versus Sweden, as I obviously picked them to top the actual group. And I think that game would be amazing. That's what the Euros and all that's about. You always have one team that isn't a big name that goes far in surprises. And again, I am leaning that towards Sweden. It's just that way every single tournament. Yes, I might be stupid, but I'm going to go with Sweden again to go far. Now, that leaves England versus Portugal. And this is where I said I think they will come unstuck, and I'm looking at this Portuguese side. Sorry, they just had a clean sheet again versus Spain, and people might say, oh, that's not impressive, but that's how they won the Euros the last time, keeping the back door shut and having moments and magic sprinkled in by their magical moments players. Ronaldo's going to have a big tournament. I think a lot of people's writing him off, taking wee shots at him because of how bad Juventus played. So I think he's going to have a big tournament. Fernandes has had a great year in Manchester United. What a player. People can talk about penalties and all that, but that's not for me. You still got to step up and score it. Fantastic player is Mr. Bruno Fernandes. You've got Bernardo Silva, you've got Ruben Diaz, you've got tremendous players, and Renato Sanchez has had a phenomenal year, and he's starting to look like the player Portugal thought they were getting a couple of years ago. So I am going to go with Portugal and win this one, but I tell you something, that'd be a blockbuster game with, again, Ronaldo being the difference maker, I think, in that one. Now, it sets up Holland versus Germany, and I think this one would just be an absolute battle in every aspect, but I'm kind of leaning towards the Germans here. I just think when it gets to crunch time, they've had the experience, and bringing back the guys like Thomas Muller, who I think is going to have a very good tournament. They've got grit there. Yes, they're getting older, but that brings experience, and I don't think they'll worry. Despite them not playing tremendously well, it's Germany, man. You never, ever write off Germany. And that leaves the last game, Turkey versus Denmark. And I am going to back Denmark in this game. So that moves us on to the old quarter-finals. And again, this video is probably far too long and everyone's clicked off it. So if you are still here, by the way, comment Sasa Papach in the comments. That will let me know you're a channel legend. But we now move on to Belgium versus Italy. Great game. Honestly, great game. But I do think it will be Italy that comes away with that one, despite everyone picking Belgium to go very far in this tournament and possibly even win the entire tournament. Sorry, I've got a really itchy nose today. I was out playing football yesterday and my hay fever and all that's kicking off. But anyway, France versus Croatia. It's going to be a repeat of the cup final, unfortunately. That is where Barisic will bow out. Sweden versus Portugal. As much as I've talked them up, Portugal is going through. Germany versus Denmark. Unfortunately for Christian Eriksen's side, that is where the journey ends, where once again we'll see a wee repeat, because there's always this type of thing in the Euros. You think of Portugal and Wales and all that stuff. There's always a team that plays each other in the groups, then plays themselves in later in the competition. So this is the semis now. Italy versus France. And I'm going France. I just can't look by them, I'm sorry. I just can't. And Portugal versus Germany. I am going to go with Portugal with something mental. Could be a last minute penalty where Bruno Fernandes and Ronaldo takes it together. They run up and hit it at the same time. You're never stopping that boy. And that leaves us, did I say the World Cup final? I think I might have. The Euros final, ladies and gentlemen. We move on to France versus Portugal. And this is the game I want to see badly in the latter stages. And again, it's went right back to the group stages. And I think France is going to win the earlier game. But again, I think Portugal will come out with a shocker and do a wee repeat of the last Euros where they managed to beat a very, very good France side when Portugal had a very, very poor side compared to what they have now, in my opinion. So I think there's going to be a lot of storylines, a lot of symmetry to the last tournament, and that is how I'm seeing Euros breaking down, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you let me know down there in the comment section below. I've enjoyed talking about some football things, and again, you're not missing out on anything. I'm not doing this video instead of this Rangers content or this Rangers content. When Rangers things happen, I will be making a video and letting you know. But instead of going another day, I felt uploading, I thought this would be quite fun and interesting to see what you are saying. So please get your thoughts and opinions out there. Let me know who's winning the Euros, and if you didn't mind, checking the video that's down there in the description below, as I was again going down to London to talk about Scottish football, talk about Scotland, who's the players to look out for in the old Euros. And I'm getting a little bit of flack for spending 99.9% of my conversation points by mentioning Rangers players, but I enjoyed every single second going down there, having a laugh, talking up the boys and talking about a couple of other very talented Scotland players and that as well. So I'll show you a wee clip, a little preview of what it's like, and again the link will be in the description if you want to see the full thing.
A big blow for you though, Ollie McGravy. I don't think that he's going to be playing, innit? That's my G, by the way.
Really?
Matt Burney, you know what I mean? Sheffield United.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
really?
Ollie McGravy. I heard he's out, innit?
Yeah, we've got a couple of bad injuries with Ryan Jack as well for Rangers as well, so he's dropped out. And it's going to be a full house for Sweden. I'm going to go for it. I mean, they've got Haaland on the back line, never lost a game in 2 years in the league for Rangers, so it's going to lead them.
Because of Kamara, I'm saying Finland.
Love that, mate. Love that. I'm going to back Saucy Glen, as we call him up north. Saucy Glen's at it again. So Glenn Kamara's Finland will win, I think. I think Croatia, a lot of people's doubting them. A lot of people's looking down them. So I think they'll really come out trying to make an impact. And I can see a Barisic assist in the game. So a draw.
How we got in front of Ndombele is criminal, bro.
I think
whoever the manager is peak.
Still
Ryan
didn't say
Mason.
Mbappe. Definitely didn't say
Sorry, bro.
How am I getting mocked by Darren Fletcher Jr., fam? I can't believe this, fam.
And that's it. Honestly, it was a great laugh going down there. And again, the flack I'm getting for only talking about Rangers players is quite incredible. But I enjoyed it. So again, if you want to see the full video, links down there in the description below. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I've been CJ Over 92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.